So welcome back, everybody. I'm Bill Wagner, and here at the Game Haus, we try really hard to stay on top of the latest esports news. And as everybody knows, going on right now is the combine for the NBA 2K League going into 2019. And I have with me two friends, and they are friends. I have talked with these guys multiple times on and off streams, and they are gracious enough to come back and talk to me again. They were in the first combine back at the end of 2017 going into 2018, and now they finished the first combine. They weren't selected to go to the next phase, therefore they weren't drafted, but the 2K League added several teams for this year. They are back into the combine, so I'll let CreditStriker and his buddy introduce themselves to you once again. So guys, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go first. What's up, everybody? This your boy CreditStriker, aka the 2K League Combine Player of the Year nominee. Teammate out there.
Oh my god!
And also, Murph.
So yeah, this is ThatGuyMurph. Definitely make sure you check us out on YouTube as well as follow us on Twitter. We have the Shoot the Brick channel where we do a lot of game streaming, a lot of videos and things like that, as well as the ThatGuyMurph YouTube channel where we'll try to put up some additional sports commentary and more content coming soon. But for the most part, I just try to make sure CreditStriker doesn't do anything a little too crazy.
No,
he tries to be my handler, but I got to be wild.
Yeah, you guys are out of control. So I'll make sure to put all those links in the description. So
Cool.
so now you guys were so for a lot of people that don't know, I did several written pieces on these guys' journey in the first combine, and now here they are back in the second combine. So guys, you've gone through one, you learned a ton. Now you're going through the second one. What is different this time? As far as the process for you guys? I mean, is there anything that in this second one that you think if I'd have known this the first time around, it would have been different for me?
Well, for me, two things. One, I'm happy that they made the qualifications for the 2K League this year was a little bit strenuous. You had to win 100 games, and you had to have a winning percentage of at least 50% to get in. So I think that made the competition a lot more harder. And I think we have seen a lot of players that we played against multiple times in the combine on either playing with them or playing against them. So I think that the field has narrowed down a lot from last year. You had 72,000 people playing last year. This year, I think it's made more like around the 2,500, maybe if that. And so that's one of the things that I appreciate of. Second,
yeah, I will say one of the things that even myself have learning a little bit different from last year to this year is playing those 100 games actually helped. I think all the people who are in the combine currently have a better understanding of floor space, because last year, we got into the combine, you ran into a lot more people who would just cut at random times, and it really made the offense really bogged down. But I will say, in the games that I played, regardless of the quality of player, that's one thing that's been consistent. Like the floor is spaced really like 10 times out of 10.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think, and also that comes with the builds as well, because they had a lot of builds that were more inside base. This year they have a lot more shooting base builds at almost all the positions, so it makes it a lot easier for people to have movement on the court.
Okay, so it sounds like that the game itself is becoming a lot more like the NBA. Is that in order to be successful, you have to learn how to space the floor correctly. You have to have some really good 3-point shooters, and people have to know how to move. So is that That correct? Am I thinking?
Oh yeah,
I would
definitely.
say so. More so, it's like most teams are starting to play like the Houston Rockets, where what you'll see, because what you'll notice as well, playing in most of the combine games, it's usually either 3-point shots or layups/dunks. Not seeing about people taking a bunch of mid-range jump shots that often. I mean, it still happens. I guess you would say more so than the Houston Rockets because they like never take mid-range jump shots.
Okay.
But that is what you're starting to see a lot more in these combine games. Just really kind of the same thing as analytics.
Right.
So okay, and you also talked about the builds. You said that in the first combine that it was really focused on size and strength, and now it's more focused on speed and shooting. So what's the most common build right now that you see people having a success with?
So at the shooting guard, you 90% of the shooting guards that you'll see in the combine are pure sharps.
Oh,
That
definitely.
and honestly, with the games that I've played, it doesn't make sense not to be a pure sharp at the shooting guard at this point. One of the other builds tried to work with was the sharpshooting playmaker that they have at the shooting guard in case we have a point guard that doesn't know what they're doing. But the way that they made the build, it's incredibly slow. So really trying to orchestrate an offense with somebody who can't really move doesn't work anyway. So you might as well just be a pure sharp and take it from there because the shooting contests. It's a lot harder to contest a shot this year than it was last year.
Okay.
Also out of the world. Like I know for the power forward position, that's what I'm playing this. I played and I finished my 40 games at so far. We get a lot of stretches, so a lot of shooters that have their primary as shooting and maybe something like two-way defense as their secondary or rebounding as their secondary because you want to get a space the floor for the big man that's in the middle, which usually is a pure glass rebounder. So it helps us to space the floor and also be able to crash the boards if needed. But in this one, yeah, pure sharks are one of the main things, and I really honestly believe shot contest is broken in the combine. Like you can put your hands up, and they're still cashing that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So we just talked the individual builds. What is what is the combination of builds that a successful team needs? I mean, it would be nice if all five players were the pure sharps. However, it doesn't seem to me
That's
like
not
it.
gonna work,
Right, it wouldn't work. So what's a good combination that actually works a long term here?
So typically, if your point guard's a sharpshooting playmaker, with a shooting guard as a pure sharp, the small forward is typically a two-way sharp, and then you'll have at the power forward, probably most likely the sharpshooting athletic finisher, and then a pure glass. And the team that spreads the floor really well and has defense at 3 of the 5 positions.
And then somebody can cut on that position. Now for me, I would either go with at the point guard, yeah, definitely the playmaking sharpshooter. I mean the sharpshooting playmaker, or the sharpshooting play. If you're not a heavy dribbler, but you don't lose the ball a lot, and you're not trying to do fancy dribbles, you can actually go with the playmaking sharpshooter at that one.
True.
But you still have to have that 2 guard be a pure sharp. I can't see anything else but that pure sharp. And then maybe at the 3 you can have a lockdown defender that can play on ball. Because that lockdown defender is a very disruptive build. Now,
Okay.
if they're able to hit the shots, go ahead with that. But if they're not, then maybe the two-way shot creator, like Murph said.
Mm-hmm.
The 4, you can either have a stretch or the sharpshooting athletic finisher, so you can be able to get cuts, rebound on the ball, or shoot in the corners. And then definitely at the center position, pure glass, nothing else.
Okay, so those terms to people that don't play the game a ton might seem a little foreign. So if we were to take those terms and apply them to real life people, like people who are like current players in the league who are either playing for Golden State or San Antonio or somewhere else in the league. What's the sort of give me examples there.
All right, so for the point guard, who's it? You have a lot of sharpshooters at point guard, but not a lot. They get a bunch of assists as well.
Stephen Curry.
Oh,
Stephen Curry, Kyle Lowry, yeah, of course, those two. Like, so if you were going for the playmaking sharp, then you would say Stephen Curry. But if you're going for the sharpshooting playmaker, it'd be more Kyle Lowry.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So at the shooting guard, think Kyle Korver.
Kyle Korver?
Yeah, at the shooting, you're sharp.
Not Klay Thompson?
Huh?
Not Klay Thompson, because you do get the defensive badge at that position.
It's only on bronze, and it's really not that effective. So, and Kyle Korver can play decent defense, but he's not going to lock nobody down like Klay Thompson would.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, then, yeah, Kyle Korver is.
Yep. Small forward.
Paul George.
Or I just his offense is a little bit more. Oh well, if you're talking about a two-way sharpshooter, maybe. But if you're talking about the pure lock,
Think Kawhi.
you said, huh?
Kawhi.
No, because Kawhi can shoot and drive very, very well. So if you're talking about somebody who's just out there for defense only, Andre Roberson. That's like if for people familiar with the Thunder, that's pretty much all he does. And practically on the other end of the floor, most people don't even guard him that much, and he just sits in the corner and kind of gets some free open threes.
Perfect example.
Okay.
Let's see, sharpshooter. I mean, that would be more like an Al Horford. If you're looking at a two-way stretch, you'd be like maybe Serge Ibaka, and then maybe the rebounding stretch would probably be Al Horford.
No, I would say Serge Ibaka fits that. Well, his defense. No, he fits that sharpshooting athletic finisher role. Can hit the spot up three and still dunk on people. Yep.
Okay.
And then if you're talking about centers, pure think old school Dwight Howard, pure glass.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Because his post moves still aren't that great, but they were completely non-existent when he first came in. He was dominant, but you knew he'd be able to get some rebounds, get to the free throw line, and clank a bunch of free throws. So that sounds good. That's right. Pure glass out.
When you say it like that, Murph, you are absolutely right.
Okay, so just to recap, make sure I understand this. If you're talking a point guard, either so you're talking Steph Curry at the shooting guard, perhaps a Kyle Korver or Klay Thompson at the three, which is more of a defensive player. You're saying you're talking Andre Roberson, and then at the four, you're talking. Oh man, I forgot the name already.
Serge Ibaka.
Yeah, so at the four you're talking Serge Ibaka, people like him, and then at the five you just need somebody who's all brawn. They're just all strength, and that's all they do. So you're talking like an old school Dwight Howard before he fell apart, right?
Yeah, before he went to the Lakers.
Before he went to the Lakers.
He was just not healthy with the Lakers.
Murph throwing shade already. We were having a good conversation too, Murph.
I'm just saying, Murph don't throw shade on my Lakers.
That's what
it don't matter.
I didn't give you a reason why. I'm just saying before he went to the Lakers, he was dominant.
That is true. I mean, before he had that back, can we just say before he had that back injury?
Yes, there we go.
The way before he went to the Lakers.
Before he went to the Lakers. Oh, you guys are awesome. Okay, so moving on from slamming the Lakers until the next opportunity. So one of the last things that the three of us talked about in February for the combine itself was that partway through the process there was a patch and it changed the way that you shot. So has there been anything like that this time? Has there been any huge changes?
They say that I've seen reports. They say that a patch is coming, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
And that kind of I'm a little, I guess you can say, leery about how that's going to work, because now you're going to have all these people who were extremely successful post-patch, but maybe they got all their games in, so they don't play anymore after patch. But if they would have played after the patch, who knows? It might have been a completely different performance one. So I think it's a little weird. As broken as some of the things in the Combine are, I'm not sure how you make that fair.
Right, and also like you got to look at people that are already talking about shot contests. In this kind of game, a player that's not putting their hands up, not playing defense on you, that should be an open shot, no, automatic. Well, for most people's thinking, especially at the high level of NBA. But if somebody's in front of you, they could be right in front of you or about behind you, and it's called a lightly contested shot, which is like, why? We're still trying to figure that out. So it affects the gameplay of a lot of players right now.
Well, I will say that regardless of what it's called, people are still just shooting in people's faces, even when they are playing defense. Like, have your hands up and everything, which would normally be considered a heavy contest. Just shooting
lightly
with that in people's faces the whole time.
Okay. Interesting. So, and then one of the other issues that we talked about in the last Combine was that the last Combine, there were about 7,500 players, right?
72,000.
Sorry, there are 72,000. And now this time around there's only 25,000, right?
I would say. But yeah, it's because I am running into a lot of the same people over and over again.
Right.
Okay, so there aren't as many players as there were last time in the Combine, which honestly isn't a bad thing, because people may have gone through the first time and said, this isn't for me, I don't like the grind, and so it brings the people who are willing to put in the time to the top. But one of the things that you guys said was that there were people competing in the Combine who weren't eligible. They were either too young, or they were attached to a pro-am squad or something like that. Are you seeing those same issues this time?
I mean, you still see them, yes. I mean, like, there are people, because they made you do the application and everything ahead of time, but they never vetted if you were of age. You can lie on the application and say you're over 18,
right,
and still play Combine. So I've got people in there that are like, hey, are you supposed to be in school right now, sir? And like, are you in middle school? And it sounds like
I just have young voices.
I know I sound like the 18-year-old premature predestined sometimes, but still, these kids like, Mom, I'm playing the game. Leave me alone. Like, I hear that in the background.
Wow.
So,
okay.
I will say that the one requirement that I think that I'm not even sure how they enforce is to have a microphone. I think we have a lot of people in there who may have gotten the wins and just submitted some type of basic application just so they can get access to the game mode, get in, and goof around.
Okay.
Like, you'll have people who will hop in, one of the hardest things to find right now is a point guard. So they'll sign up as a point guard and just pick probably the worst build that you can have as a point guard, which is a sharpshooting defender, which is something that there is no NBA comparison at point for something with that build. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So it's a point guard that can't handle the ball, can't pass the ball, can't get its own shot. It's practically useless. But they'll sign up as that, and then they'll quit halfway through the first quarter.
Okay.
So now you're stuck with a AI that it's not really going to be able to do much.
Got it. So so you get the same problem with people quitting partway through, sort of like a rage, sort of the whole or rage quit concept. Now, so are you seeing a difference in the way that the bots are playing this year? The AI bots.
If anything, I'd say they're more easily exploited. What you'll start noticing is if the shooting guard quits out, or if whoever quits out, if they're guarding a shooter, what you'll see people do is they will have the shooter wait backcourt or wait past the half court line while everybody else gets set up. The AI automatically sinks down to like the free throw line because it doesn't seem like there's really anybody to guard. So then they'll have the shooter just run up the court, we'll pass him the ball, and he gets a wide open three. Because
Okay.
the computer's too far to actually be able to come up and contest.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah. Other than that, I will say, actually, I was a little surprised with some of the AIs. If you play against an AI like the Pro-Am or the Jordan Rex Center, and you throw a pass anywhere in their direction, typically that's going to be a steal. The AIs here, I have not seen that happen almost at all.
Huh. Okay. Interesting. Awesome. So okay. So and then so there was one more issue during the first combine when it came to recording games and things like that. There's a problem with some results not populating, or it would populate into your profile and then it would be gone 24 hours later. Are there any problems this time with any of that?
For me, I'm seeing that they're giving you zeros in places where you haven't played. Like I haven't played at center in this combine, and I had one loss at center. I mean, I had one game at center with 0 stats, and I'm like, when did I play at center? And it was during a time that wasn't even available for the game. So I was like,
wow.
Yeah. So hopefully they get those fixed, but
Wow.
they have addressed that. Like they said, we have seen those, and they're gonna try to look into that.
Cool.
Yeah, I would say on my end, all of my games have been accurate.
No, okay, so what it sounds like to me is that the problems they had previously with the stats and the reporting are pretty much all taken care of, and now it's a new set of problems.
I wouldn't even go to call it as a set of problems. It's just that one thing that happens. Everything else seems to be operating just fine.
Okay.
Yeah, other than that.
Good. Okay, and that's always good to hear, because I mean, even back in the first season, I could tell that those guys were trying really hard to address things, to gather all the information they could. There wasn't a lot of fast responses that they had to go back and retract or change how things were worded. It seemed like to me that the league genuinely took the time to make sure they had a real solution, and they communicated that. So it seems like that, here they are 2 seasons in. This is starting the second season. Seems like the process has sort of been smoothed out a little bit. So it's always good to hear.
A little bit. Now, I've been looking at some, I totally agree with you. It is getting much better, but there are some general managers for different teams that are saying that it's still not the best way to find, the top players. So I'm looking at a tweet from Anthony Morocco. He's the GM of the Cavaliers Legion gaming company, gaming team.
Mm-hmm.
And he said one of 2 things need to happen with the 2K League Combine. They need to do a much higher qualification standard, 150 to 200 games at 80% win and loss ratio, with a tiered matchmaking system in the Combine, or remove it altogether and have a series of tournaments throughout the year that determines the pool. And that'll actually get. I feel like I'm either going with the number 1. I'm more so with the 1 option, because not everybody has a team that they can run with. We all know that. Some people go into these things and they play by themselves, but you'll get the better competition because 100 games, a lot of people fell out. I think at 150 or 200 games, people are really going to fall out of this thing altogether. And you're going to get the top people that just are really committed to the game, not people that just want to go in there and troll.
Well, I will say that I guess the problem with both of those suggestions is the same. Because even trying to get through the 100 games this season, it's hard to coordinate, with all the people that you would usually play with. And then we're talking about having to then put out, looking for game posts. And you really never know what you're going to get when you get somebody from that situation. So it's kind of hard unless you already have an established five and everybody's all on the same schedules. But I will say that there definitely does need to be a change. And if anything, there needs to be a shoot-around option with the 2K League, or similar to how you have the team program set up now where all 5 of your people can get into a court together. You can talk, you can go over game plans, what it is you want to do. You can shoot around, so you can practice your jump shot and things like that, because for a lot of people, when you go into the 2K League Combine, this is the first time you're using a jump shot, and they have different speeds on them, which the only time you ever get to practice is when you take your shot in game. So I think being able to actually establish some type of roles or game plans or ideas with the people that you're going to would help a lot more people who are struggling, because they're going into so many different games and people want to play so many different systems, and you really get your team, and it's really only by like the second half where everybody's really on the same page.
Got it. Okay, and these issues that you're bringing up, I mean, they are real issues, but it also shows that when you're discussing things like this, how to make it better, more refined, find higher quality talent, that having those sorts of problems, having those sorts of issues, I should say, having those sorts of discussions is a good thing, because when you're first starting out, you're basically trying to find the talent, and because there is no farm system for this, it's basically a free-for-all concept. And I know of a couple of people, I've talked to them directly, they are trying to build sort of a D-League concept for 2K, but the thing is, until those are viable, it's basically, it's basically blind luck. You just have to find the right 2 or 3 people that show up out of nowhere, and you just have to make it happen, right?
Right. Like, think about it. Like, you are basically right now, you're playing, and your luck is, if I get Murph, that guy Murph as a teammate, or if I get a person that's at point guard that's competent and has actually played the game more than one, like for the first time in his life, or if my internet connection is working correctly. They need to put everybody in this. I've been saying this for a while. They need to put everybody in the same hub, same place that they're going to pick. If you're only going to pick 1,000 people to play, send out 1,000 people to the same place where they are playing with the same Wi-Fi connection, same controller, the same Xbox systems, where they are actually playing at their best. Because you can't say that I'm playing on my Wi-Fi in Atlanta is the same as somebody overseas, and they have terrible Wi-Fi connection, or their connection to the servers is going to be stronger than mine. So that's just my.
Or even treat it as like the fighting game community does, where they have all of these setups. So you can have it set up regionally, right? So you can have all right, the people in this region are going to do it. So you can do more people. You can have more people there. You can even sell tickets and make more money from doing something like that, because people would definitely want to bring their families so they can come watch them compete and things like that. Have it set up as an actual tournament. You'll have the 2K League Combine set up on those systems, and you'll have that opportunity to even if you randomly match all the people who sign up into teams like you want to do, so nobody's playing with their all-star friends who they already know how to play with. But even if you do that, you'll have time to at least talk to the people that you're playing with. You'll be able to figure out strengths and weaknesses. You'll be able to figure out maybe you should play shooting guard this time, and this person should play point guard. This you can switch it up. That I think would be probably the best way to figure out something like that going forward.
Nice.
And they can also not just because you're playing with somebody, because of course more dominant players are going to rise to the top. The players that are decent are going to be in the middle, and the people that are not good are going to just fall to the wayside. But because you're on a team with these players, and you may not even win every game, but because you're on the team, people are still going to look at you like he makes the right plays, or he does the right thing, even though his team is losing. So that gives you exposure to all these different GMs without saying, oh, I can't see all these games because they're playing. We got to watch everybody's twitches at the same time.
Right, and then you can even have the players rate their teammate interactions. Like, this person was toxic, or this person was actually really helpful. This person was trying to keep the team together, and that way you'd be able to get a full view of who it is that you're playing with, or that you're trying to recruit.
Nice. Yeah, these are awesome ideas. I think what you guys are seeing is I think it's what eventually will happen with the 2K League. There are esports venues that are popping up all over the country, Vegas and Texas and California, down in Atlanta, Florida too. So I think there's definitely the foundation that is in place for this to happen. I've talked to a couple of guys. There's one in Texas that I know specifically has put in a ton of work into making a D-League concept and trying to centralize everything and create some consistency. So guys, thank you for this whole interview process again. I'm very grateful that we have stayed in contact. I know you guys are busy. I know Murph that you just got married, right?
Yep. August 26th.
August 26th.
Remember's Day. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I know, right? Look, I can't forget it.
Hey, just remember, there's only 2 dates in your life that you need to know from this point forward. Your anniversary and your wife's birthday. Everything else you can forget, but you forget those 2 days. And I can tell you from experience, as being married for 15 years, you remember those 2 dates, life is good. Trust me.
Good advice. I'll take that. She already looks at me funny if I play like I forgot. So I don't even make that joke anymore.
No. There's some things you'll joke about, and there's some things that you just have to program into your phone for the rest of your life. Two of those things to program into your phone is your anniversary and your wife's birthday. Never forget those.
Agreed.
Guys, thanks again for making time for me, and I will stick your links to your YouTube channel and your individual Twitch feeds down in the description. Thank you once again, guys. I had ThatGuyMurph. Check him out on Twitter at ThatGuyMurph, and then his running mate, his cohort, his friend _underscore CreditStriker on Twitter. Check these 2 guys out. I'll put the links to their individual Twitch feeds in the description, guys. So as we shut this down, is there anything else that I should promote for this?
Oh, check us out on Twitch. Oh yeah, check us out on Twitch. We're running every day. We're trying to get some new court hyped up. So that's us.
Yep. That's it. We're excited to be part of the process.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Hey,
we really appreciate you, Bill, for keeping in touch with us.
No problem, guys. I always love good stories. I love to tell the ongoing story. This is an ongoing journey. So everybody, thank you for tuning into the Game Haus YouTube channel. Drop some likes and some shares on this video and all the others that we have, and I'll talk to you real soon.
If you liked that, hit the subscribe button for more interviews and other great sports and esports content. Make sure to also like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter to stay up to date on all the news from your favorite sports and esports players and teams. From our house to yours.